Okay, today we're gonna we're gonna actually do something that's completely new to you, which I don't think the last couple lessons were completely new because it was geometry class, and you were just looking at right triangles. Now our focus is beyond right triangles. We're still in Trig, but we're calling this angles and angle measure. I think the best way to get started is just to show you an example problem. So just right off the bat, you can see that looks nothing like what we've done, but it's still involving, we're still talking about angles. And I might not start with this problem. I just wanted to give you an idea where we're headed, but let me quickly just explain something to you. Off to the side here, let me explain that what we're doing here is we're going to be going around in a circle, starting over here, starting to the right, and going this way is going to be positive. If you remember, this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. So it would make sense that we would start here and start heading off into the first quadrant here, then the second. So this is our normal direction, where this is going to be considered, this area over here along the x-axis to the right is going to be considered our 0 degrees. So if we go all the way around, you can start looking at this here, but if we go all the way around once, that's 360 degrees. All the way around a circle is 360. If we do it again, we get another 360. If we want to head this direction instead, we're going to call that negative. This would be negative 360. This would be negative 90 to get to here. This would be positive 90. This would be positive 180 going across here. 270, 360, negative 90, negative 180, 360, 360. So let's look at, let's gotta start somewhere here. So let's look here and notice how this one is starting here, as they all will, and it's going in the negative direction. Remember, this is the positive direction here because it's first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. If we're going this way, we're starting with the fourth quadrant, going backwards. So this goes all the way around negative 360. Then it does it again, negative 360. And then we get another negative 180, and then they mark this little angle for us from here to here as 25. So this problem, it says find the measure of the angle. What they mean is all the way around. You know, how far? There's 360, another 360, and then another 180, and then 25, and it's all in the negative direction. So it would be 360 plus 360 plus 180 plus 25. But it's actually, once we do that, it's all in the negative direction, so the answer will be negative. So this is what, 925 degrees, negative. Once again, it's negative because we went this direction to start with, not this direction. Positive, look over here, positive, and then negative going this way. Let's do it again. All right, the next one says draw a 600-degree angle. So it's your job now is to draw. So make your x and y axis here. You can label them x and y if you want. Draw a 600-degree angle. So we're just going to start. We're going to go like this. This is 360. Here's another 180. 360 plus 180 is 540, and we just need 60 more. So it'd be something like this. And you could even, to be overly clear, you could call this 60 degrees. Just you're proving that you understand what's going on here. Let me show you again. This is 360 degrees one time around, and then we're going to go another half. So 360 plus 180 equals 540. But the question was to make a 600-degree angle. So 540, I need 60 more to do that. So all the way around, 360 plus 180 plus 60. Notice I went this direction, starting this way, because it was a positive angle. And you're done. You've drawn, it says draw the angle, so I've drawn a picture of this situation right here. Draw a negative 340 degree angle. That's pretty easy. We're just going to go, we're going negative, so we're going to start this direction, and we're going to go like this, and we're not going to quite get to the end. We're going to have something, you know, maybe like this. You could even call this 20 degrees so everybody understands that you know what's happening here. And that's it. You know, maybe put a little arrow on it to show what direction you were headed. That's it. It's negative 340. We all know negative now is going this direction, but we don't want to go all the way around because that would be 360. We want to take away 20 and show the problem that we went 340 negative. Same ideas. You know, once you got this basic idea of which way is positive, which way is negative, understanding that it's 360 all the way around, then really we're just kind of changing the wording of the questions. This one says state the quadrant for negative 357. Well, let's go ahead and draw negative 357. Kind of looks like the last one we just did. It's going to go negative direction almost all the way to 360. So, you know, there is negative 357. But the question doesn't even say to draw it. I'm just drawing it so you guys understand that that angle, it went like this, negative direction, 357. It ended up in this quadrant right here, which of course is the first quadrant. This is second quadrant. This is third quadrant. These are very important. You need to know what quadrants are which, especially for trig. So it's always going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This thing went this way, so it ended up here, which is quadrant 1. Answer to question, quadrant 1. There you go. Next one. All right, a little different, but pretty much the same thing. Find the reference angle for 220. So let's go ahead and draw 220. It's positive this time. So we're going to go positive direction. That's 180. And then we're going to need this just a little bit more. We need 40 more degrees so that this is actually 220. But we have a new question here. The question is, find the reference angle. The reference angle. So this would be a good time to pay attention because this is going to be a new idea here. Okay. The reference angle is after you go around and find out where it ends. In this case, it ended right in here somewhere. Then whatever the angle, this is the little actual acute angle, an angle from 0 to 90 degrees. In this case, it's 40, is the reference angle. In other words, you can go around and around and around all you want, but in the end, a lot of times all we care about is what's the leftover small angle in any particular quadrant that you ended up in. It's always going to be the horizontal line with the line where the angle ended. So this thing could have went around and around and around, but if it ended up right here and this was 40 degrees, then this angle right here is called the reference angle. So the answer to this problem is just 40 degrees. That looks terrible. $40 degrees. So a reference angle is always an acute angle. It's always from 0 to 90 degrees because all it's concerned with is the bottom line in some quadrant, like what is the actual angle. And it's always horizontal and here. In other words, it's not this one. It's always the horizontal line with the terminal side of the angle. So if it was over here, it would be this angle here. If it was up here, it would be this angle. It's always from the x-axis basically to the x-axis to the ending side of the whatever was going around. Find a positive and negative coterminal angle for 480. This is probably the simplest of all. Okay, let's start though. Let me just explain once again. 480. 480 would be 360 plus another 90, which would put you at 450, and then 30 more would be 480. So it looks something like this. This would be 30 degrees here. This would be 60 degrees. This would actually be the coterminal, or I'm sorry, the reference angle would actually be this 60 degrees right here. But they're not asking for that. In this problem, it says find a positive and negative coterminal angle for 480. Coterminal means that it ended up in the same place. So 480 was 360 plus another 90 and 30 here, which is 150. So 360 plus the 90 was 450 plus another 30 was 480. So this right here is 480. All you got to do to find a coterminal angle is just add 360 again to wherever you're at. Because if I add 360 from here, it goes right back to here again. If I want, and in this case, if I added 360 to this, it would be a positive angle that's exactly like 480. If I subtract 360, it's still, so I could go, I'm here, now I'm going to subtract 360 to put me back to here, subtract 360 to put me back to here, subtract 360, add 360, add 360. That's coterminal angles. Coterminal means same location around this circular idea. So you don't really need, I just wanted to show you one of the pictures here so you understand it, but when you see a problem like this, you don't really need to draw it. Just add 360, subtract 360, and until you got one positive, one negative. In this case, I would just take 480 minus 360, which is 120, and then I would subtract, so that's one angle, that's the same angle as 480, and then I would subtract 360 again, and I would get negative 240. There are multiple answers to these ones because you could just keep adding 360 or subtracting 360 infinitely, and you'd keep getting back to the same place again. Add 360, add 360, add 360. But they only want, find a positive and a negative coterminal angle. So since I knew I had to get to a negative one by subtracting, I just started subtracting right off the bat. That angle's still positive. There's that one. And then I'd subtract the 360 again, and I'm at negative 240. Or one more thing just to make this clear, if you do 140, or if you go 480 positive degrees, you end up here. But if you started right from here and just went negative 240, you'd also end up here. Negative 240, which is this, is the same as positive 480. Coterminal. Coterminal means co, meaning two, of ending. Terminal means ending, so where it ends. So this one all end at the same location. Therefore, they're all coterminal angles. All right, this is still an introduction lesson. You should find it to be pretty simple. There's not too many crazy questions on here. I think I covered every type of homework question you're going to see. So have fun with it. Work hard. Be nice. See you soon.